You ready to hear more about Japan, guys? Lots of fun things. Oh my, the temples. Yes, the temples and the shrines. My brother's goal was to make us be shrined and templed out by the end of it. And I would say I wasn't like templed and shrined out, but it was like we saw a lot. A lot of them are really nice and really interesting. They have a lot of beautiful forest, woods, garden areas as part of the shrines and the temples. So it was really nice to get the chance to go for like this gorgeous walk or hike through the temples, this little shrine in the woods, seeing everything that they have there as well as enjoying the nature. I found particularly I like the shrines versus the temples. Nothing against the Buddhist religion, nothing against temples. They were very interesting as well. But I found the shrines were more animal and nature oriented, and I loved the animal statues that they had as the guardians for the deities. Kind of like an ancient chihuahua. They were just so cute and interactive and just seemed so to fit in place. A lot of the Shinto religion as well believes in the concept of there's beauty in the age of things. So as the shrine, whenever they start to grow over with moss or the jungle kind of start to take them over a little bit, they leave them to age because there's beauty in the fact of how old it is and how long it's been around, and the beauty of nature taking it back a little bit and making it into this combined beautiful thing that is both nature and constructed and modern, yet bringing back the old at the same time. I really loved all the hikes and the walking. Now, we did a lot of walking. On average, we did about 14,000 steps, which I believe was about 12 to 14 kilometers a day. On our biggest days, which there was 3 or 4 of those, we walked like 25,000 steps. So it was a lot. I will definitely say I feel like I walked off, I don't know, a large chunk that I probably didn't need. I really enjoyed the walking. A lot of it was very beautiful in nature, and there was so much to see and so much to experience that it was nice to be able to feel so energetic. Now, I will include lots of random videos of different shrines and temples here for you guys. I am going to do specific videos for some of the bigger shrines I went to that had more of a specific meaning to me because I have more footage of them. I will definitely say I found the temples interesting because the temples, there are happy Buddhas and not happy Buddhas. And I say that, it's not probably the right term, but some Buddhas you could take pictures of. So some you could take photos and video of, and so I'll share with you guys the photos and videos that we got. Some of them were quite beautiful and intricate, ginormous, huge Buddhas that were just made out of, I believe, copper, and they had oxidized and turned green. We've come to Giant Buddha. He's pretty cool. He's 13.4 meters tall. He's very tall. It's so cool. And I can actually take photos of this Buddha. Ginormous, white, beautiful, like pristine Buddhas. All of the individual little Buddhas and the other characters and such that he has around inside the temples were amazing. The intricacy of all these specific statues and carvings were immaculate and amazing. Just the sheer size of a lot of the temples was shocking. Like, the buildings are gigantuan. I stand beside the door and I'm like 1/10 of the door, and it's huge. The level of gold and ornate things were quite shocking and just amazing. Like ginormous gold Buddha, like that was a thing. It was crazy. And it had smaller Buddhas that were all around it that were part of his bigger statue that were solid gold as well. And they were probably bigger than I am. There was just like a presence there. You just felt like you were in this sacred place. And a lot of the shrines and temples are thousands of years old. And there was just something kind of interesting about being there, about learning about them, engulfing yourself in that community, that culture. I really enjoyed the fact that my brother took us to see quite a bit. We saw gigantic shrines and temples, and I mean huge. And then we saw tiny little ones that are no bigger than a car parking spot. This is just a little shrine that we found while we were walking. It's very pretty. These are very low. I feel like if I hit my head. I'm sure I won't, but water. Oh, look at the cool little statues. Look at the cool statues. I'm guessing you pull that and it goes gong, but I'm not going to just because I don't know if we're allowed.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it's like big bells.
I'm not gonna step in there either. I don't want to disturb anything. But they were all so interesting in the fact that you could tell that they were a space that the community took care of and the community came together to keep active and keep as a sacred space. And a lot of them just popped up literally city, big buildings. Here's like, quickie stores and all that kind of stuff. And right across the street, here's a shrine. So I have a few photos that were actually kind of interesting of being in the shrine and then turning around to walk back out to where we parked our bicycles. And you can see like the Quickie Mart and stuff from across the street. It just was so interestingly surreal looking, which by the way, 7-Eleven was a great place to eat. They had lots of fresh stuff all the time. They had hot and cold drinks. They had all sorts of yummy snacks. Honestly, they were a great little go-to. I kind of look at 7-Elevens now and I'm like, really? You're kind of a letdown. And yes, you heard me say bicycles. We went for a bike ride. So in Japan, everyone takes the trains. I have lots of videos for trains for you guys as well. The train system was amazing, but we'll get into that in another video. Bikes are the other way to get around because having a car is kind of difficult in Japan. There's not a lot of place to park them, and unless you have a parking stall, they're not going to let you purchase one. That kind of basically how it boils down. The cars were very cute. They're very condensed and little. Oh my goodness, I have so many cute little photos of them. They were adorable. And it was weird walking past garages that are no taller than you. And I'm like, really? I'm 5'5". That's tiny. And when you see that the car fits in there, you're like, there's a wee little car. Like no extra space in those things whatsoever. Hopefully they are crash rated because dear God, if not, I don't know what to say. But yes, we rode bicycles. So my brother got bikes. He had his own, but we got bikes from the university that he is at. And we were able to take them out for the day and go for a bike ride. Now, I hadn't been on a bike in like 20 years. My mom probably about the same. And well, today we're going bike riding around Kashiwa. These are the bikes from the university that my brother was able to get out for us. So we're just gonna ride around and see Kashiwa, maybe go to some shrines and just some like general stuff, see if we can't find some cherry blossoms. It has been, I'm gonna go with like 20 years since I got on a bicycle. So hopefully the age-old saying is correct. It's just like riding a bike. It was just like riding a bike. It did take me a little bit to kind of figure it out again. The gears at first, I'm like, oh yeah, gears. How do I work these again? Okay. A little wobbly. Feels a bit wobbly. And we went for a really lovely bike ride. I will say it was intensely longer than we expected. Like we joke, my mom and I joke about that. My brother was trying to kill us, like literally. We went for a 34-kilometer bike ride in one day. Yeah, 34 kilometers. To say that my butt and like the underside of my butt at the top of my thighs and my inner thighs, oh my God, to say that they died and fell off would be an understatement. Like, whew, it was intense. It was fun though, and it was hilarious as my mom and her are like, oh, it hurts. My brother's like, you said you could make it this far. Yeah, I don't remember what any of the gears are for. This seems foolish, but we're gonna try it. 3-speed bicycle, and I don't even remember how to ride a 1-speed bicycle. Ah!
Eee! Don't crash.
Ha ha ha! Not. Okay, it's not as hard as I thought it would be. It was just comical and hilarious, and it was so nice actually to be riding a bike in the city. It was very strange riding in the city though, because in Japan, helmets are not required. So we were riding around on a bicycle with no helmet, which feels so weird, but was so fun. Like the crosswalks, they have an area that's just for the bikes to go around and then for the people who are walking. That way they're not tripping over each other or there's not any crashes happening. It was interesting to see how they had incorporated bike riding into regular transportation, especially at the train stations. We would go to a train station, not even like a major train station, like a smaller city train station, and for probably the next block in any direction, there was parking for your bicycle. Not for your car, for your bicycle. And they were loaded. And then along the sides, they would have like a double-decked covered area that was all for bikes as well. It was insane, the level of bikes that were there. But it makes sense why Japanese people are so fit and why they are so healthy. They're doing so much exercise on the regular. It was shocking. And yes, for my bike ride, I fell once, not too bad. Stick or something got under the wheel. I think it was a rock actually, and it kind of shoved my front wheel sideways. And so I went into this wall, brick wall, like they had little walls around their garden areas or around their houses to individualize them. And I kind of fell into one, not hard, just a little bit, scraped a few things. Nothing too bad. It just felt kind of dumb, which wasn't so bad. My mom fell twice though, near the end of our bike ride. She was just getting so exhausted, and so was I. And we were going uphill and it just kind of got a little bit unbalanced and then she fell over into a bush. Nothing too bad, just like the odd little scrape, and that was about it. But it was definitely like, oh my God. So it was definitely a good thing that that was near the end of our bike trip, because wow, I don't know that we would have survived if we'd done the bike trip at the beginning of our entire trip. Just the level of walking and exercise. I mean, we did go out for quite a long walk the next day after we did bikes, but we didn't make it too adventurous, let's put it that way. More Japan videos coming. I've got lots of individual videos coming. I'm breaking it up so we can all digest it easier. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click the subscribe button because it makes you awesome. Bye for now.